Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So today, let's just jump right into it because today is going to be a bit of a different podcast, only because I just got home from work and Sam and I looked at each other and said, oh my gosh, today was a crazy day. I have so much to tell you. And we both kind of said the same thing. And I thought, let's just pause. We have to do this right now. So we don't know what we're going to tell each other.
Right.
So we don't know what's happened in our day, but we're really excited to tell each other. And
you're coming along for the ride.
Yeah, you're going to be just as surprised or
maybe
no,
not. They will be.
Yeah. As each other are.
Yeah.
So first, welcome to our manifestation journey. This is a little bit crazy what we're doing because we've never done this before, but bear with us. And here we go.
I think you should go first.
You think I should go first?
Yeah. You're an ABC.
I am. I have to figure out where my A is. Okay. So I'm going to start with yesterday.
Okay.
And it's going to lead into this crazy day.
Okay.
So, you know how yesterday, we recorded a podcast yesterday and I talked about the signs that I was seeing.
Right.
About the car and what she said in the car, what Catherine said during the podcast. If you want to figure out what I was saying, or if you're curious about that, just go back to the last episode and you'll hear it. So it might have been the day before yesterday.
No, it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. So last night I had a conversation with you about I had a dream the night before, and the stuff from my past was coming up, and I didn't really know what to do about it because I thought I had dealt with all these issues, but I guess maybe I didn't, because it was a dream about somebody that I had a confrontation with in high school, and I haven't dreamt about this person in a long time, and I thought I had dealt with this issue, but I guess maybe that I didn't. And so I was talking to Sam about it, and she said maybe this person is just representing your past, something that's happened in your past that you need to deal with. So I kind of thought on that for a little bit more. And then we kind of went about our night. And then we were talking about the next part of the book in this book that I've purchased from Catherine. It's a workbook.
Right.
It's right here, just I'm going to grab it. So it's called Unleash Your Inner Money, Babe. And it's this workbook that you can buy on Amazon. And it's you can write in it, and there's all these
kind of like a journal-esque type, but very action-based focused money workbook.
Yeah. And I'd got it a couple weeks ago, and I was planning on jumping into it, and then of course all these other things came up, the wedding and a bunch of stuff. And one of them was talking about saging your room and saging your wallet and all that stuff. And I'm I don't have the right sage, blah, blah, blah. There's all these things that were holding me back. And then I saw the word, in the next couple of pages, I saw the word forgiveness coming up.
Right.
And I was I don't know if I'm ready to tackle this yet. And you'd said, that's interesting.
Yes, I find it very interesting.
That I was afraid of that word.
Yes.
And so last night, I was I talked to you about it and was trying to kind of feel it out. And George was cranky, so he needed to go to sleep early. So he went to bed early. I did some tidying, and then I found myself in my room at 9:15, which is pretty unheard of. Normally I'm running around doing things till 10:30. So 9 was okay, I have time. And so I was feeling kind of low yesterday and confused and wasn't really sure why. And I went to pick up an Abraham book to get because Abraham usually makes me feel better. Some words from Abraham just usually make me feel better. And then I was you know what? Nope. I'm going to pull this workbook out. I'm going to confront this word, forgiveness.
Ooh.
So I opened up the pages, and it's funny because it was saying in here almost word for word, because you were I didn't even realize that those two things would go hand in hand.
Right.
I didn't think forgiving anybody or people, what would that have to do with money?
Right.
How do those two things go hand in hand?
So from my perspective, Micki has been talking about forgiveness within the last few weeks, and she has recognized that this is her block. She believes that because she's unable to forgive some people in her life for past situations, she is unable to receive from the universe. And I'm like, how does that make sense? How are those two things the same? Because I'm like, to me, the universe is a completely separate entity and is higher infinite intelligence and has nothing to do with the people that you are stuck with.
Right.
So I'm like, how does this make sense? And then, so I was asking you questions about it. My questions were really weird. I thought they were weird. But basically, I've learned from you that you said, I don't trust the universe.
Right.
Because of past wrongdoings, I don't forgive those people. That has a lot to do with trust. Like, I don't have an open heart towards people in my life. I have a hard time forgiving them for what they've done. Therefore, moving forward, I have a hard time trusting the universe. And so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't trust it to follow through. Because the universe is somewhat of a stranger to me right now.
Okay.
Which is such a silly thing to say, because it's the friggin' universe, right? It's like the energy that creates worlds. It's like the be all end all.
Right.
But like, I'm developing this new relationship with it. So it's like, I don't trust it. And it takes a long time for me to let people in.
Right.
Anyway, so I open up this book, and one of the first words, what is that noise?
The sink.
Okay.
My husband's working on the sink.
Okay. Just bear with us for that billowing noise. Okay, so the chapter's called The F Word Will Set You Free, which I love.
Right.
Forgiveness. And it says, today you are doing some super crucial mental clearing. Day 2 may change your life alone. You could literally stop the challenge after day 2, and I guarantee you'd see some major shifts in your life. However, I know you're an overachiever and eager to manifest. And in this book, it's saying you can do $1,000 in 21 days. I'm doing more than that. But
of course you are.
And it's so she said, for me personally, it was the manifestation game changer, and at the time I didn't even realize it. Today is the day to completely forgive yourself, everyone in your past, and everything that has ever happened to you since your birth. I know it sounds like a huge daunting task ahead of you, and you may be thinking, forgive everyone? Catherine, do you even know what so-and-so did to me in 2004? And like, this made me laugh so hard, because it's so true, right? Like, it's so true. But she says, I'm here to tell you.
Oh, it's a snowmobile. Sorry.
Oh, it's a snowmobile.
Yeah, okay,
that makes more sense.
We live in Canada.
We live in Canada. There's a snowmobile. That's the most Canadian podcast sound. Okay. I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter what so-and-so did to you. What truly matters is that holding on to any grudges from your past is going to prevent you from manifesting money.
Yes.
Like, she says this.
Right.
So, oh my gosh.
That's so brilliant.
I know. Like, and I'm I didn't even know she was going to say this, but then I'm reading it and I'm like, this is the validation
is the answer that
I've been seeking. For. So then, so then she asks you to write down 25 memories.
Jesus.
25 of any type of situation that happened to you in your life.
Right.
Where you'd felt like a negative emotion that you kind of still remember.
Right.
So memories started coming up for me that I didn't even realize I was still holding on to.
Oh my God.
And like, her first example is that time I really wanted to buy a certain Barbie and my mom told me that we couldn't afford it.
Right.
Like, simple things like that. But then also all the way up to that time I cheated on my boyfriend because I was bored with our relationship.
Right.
Right? Like, personal, like, problems, but also like seemingly insignificant ones.
Right.
So I start writing these, right? 25 of them. The first one I wrote was, my dad told me I had to quit karate because we couldn't afford it.
Oh.
That's the first one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm writing these down and...
Sobbing? I would hope so.
Because she tells you too. But... She's like, feel the emotions of how you felt in that time.
Right.
She's like, I'm not asking you to like spend a ton of time on that. Like, I think she says feel them for like 2 seconds, but for me it was like a good 5 minutes for each one. And then she says, like, what you need to do is say, I forgive you, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you.
Okay.
Right? So I forgive you is like releasing yourself from it.
Right.
It's more like I release you, you know? Like, you were there, but I release you. I will no longer allow the situation to affect me and block my money vibe.
Right.
I'm sorry for holding on to it for so long.
Right.
It's not going to bother me anymore. thank you for the lessons it taught me. And then the I love you is sending love to the situation, because sending love to any situation will allow you to heal it.
Right.
So after you write them all down, you have to go back through each one, feel the feels, and then say that. So what was interesting about this entire scenario is I was more upset. I was more emotional about the little financial things than I was about the big trauma, the big T trauma things.
Okay.
Like, in a comparison, let's just talk about a quick comparison. Like, you know, the karate, we couldn't afford it. Or I had to quit skating when we got older because we couldn't afford it.
Right.
Right? Or, you know, you remember going to our parents and being like, can I have money for a field trip?
Oh, God.
And you were so nervous.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, ugh, like, how are they going to react to this?
Right.
It depends on how much money they have right now.
Right.
I really don't want to do this. I'm freaking out. But I have to ask.
Yeah.
Like, my whole class is going.
Right.
You know, like, you knew it was going to be
an issue,
a struggle, you know, and you just, and like, we got jobs at 12 because they were like, sure, if you want something, like, go work for it. And so we did. Yeah. So, like, it was just this scarcity mindset in our house all the time, every day.
It's funny because you brought up the karate thing. I just remembered now that I couldn't do horseback riding anymore.
Yeah. They said, no, we can't do this because we can't afford it.
And they felt so awful.
Yeah.
I remember, like, the pain on their faces from telling me that.
And then you feel guilty because you've put them in that situation.
Right.
Right? Like, which is just such a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
And this is the feelings that I've been battling spending money up until this point, this 2-month marker that we're at.
Right.
And every time, like, I'll spend money on something, there's this pang of guilt or this pang of, like, well, you've only got 2 weeks for your paycheck and you don't know when that money's coming. Like, it's like, that's scarcity.
There's so much goes on in your mind when you pay for something.
Yes.
It's every time you pay for something, too. It's not like, you know, you buy a coffee and that's exempt. No, that's included, too. Like, every time you pay for something, you are, like, calculating in your mind.
Right.
How much money do I have? Can I afford this? Can I have this coffee or whatever?
Right.
Like, you have to have a conversation.
Which is so ridiculous.
To talk yourself into getting a coffee or whatever it is. Yeah. And
yesterday, well, I guess I'll finish this part and then I'll talk about a bit more about yesterday. But anyway, so it was like examples like that were seemingly quite simple. And then you'd come up with, like, another really stressful memory where my ex-partner was an abusive partner verbally. And so I wrote down all the times that he abused me in public.
Right.
And, like, really awful situations.
Such a horrible,
And you were there for one of them.
Yeah.
It was in high school, and it was in the hallway, and it was, like,
and I was like,
totally degrading and awful. And there's so many multiple situations where that happened. Yeah. Like, that wasn't the only time. Like, it happened a lot. And, like, it's like I was over them. Like, I was just, like, I've cried a lot about those moments, though. Like, I've revisited them and, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think I've felt the feels and cried the tears that I've needed to cry and let it go.
Right.
Like, I feel like since then I've forgiven him completely. And I'm like, he was in so much pain and he didn't know how to live. And, like, he'd gone through a lot. So, like, you know, he was dealing with his own stuff.
Yeah.
And I really do feel as though I've forgiven him. And I feel like the other traumas in my life as well, like, I relived, remember that phone call I got from the girls and they ambushed me and they were tricking me.
It was very Mean Girls situation.
They tricked me into talking about somebody on the phone and that person was secretly on the phone.
Exactly what you see in Mean Girls.
Yeah,
like that
where they trick her. Yeah.
Yeah, they try to get her to talk.
The four screen where they're all on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, see, Gretch, I told you she wasn't mad at you or whatever. Yeah. And they tricked and ambushed her. That's what happened to me. Sam was there for that. It was awful. Anyway, but, like, those things now, I'm like, I feel like I'm over it. Like, they're not bothering me anymore. But this money stuff really triggered something.
That's really interesting.
I know. And, like, it's so funny. Yesterday, I'm, like, sobbing. Mason walks into my room. I'm, like, ugly crying. He's like, are you okay? And then he comes in, he starts reading what I'm writing. Aww. Like, the little kid stuff.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh my God, because he didn't know about these memories. How would he? I don't talk about them.
Right.
And he's like, this is so sad. I'm like, I know.
Very sad handwritten book.
It's It was so sad.
It's depressing AF.
Yeah, and all of these things, and then I started,
Oh my God.
trying to talk to myself, my little girl self,
Oh, you
and
poor
I
thing.
pictured pulling her aside and being like, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna get better. Don't worry. This is your parents' problem with money. This is not your problem with money.
Right.
You can get through this. You live under their roof, and you need to just accept them for what's going on. But when you have full control in your life, it's going to be very, very different."
Right.
I was trying to talk to my inner little girl.
Yeah.
And like we were saying earlier, the things, how this keeps coming up in our lives. Yesterday, I wanted to get something for Mason because he's been dealing, Mason, my husband, because he's been dealing with some small health issues. And so yesterday I purchased for him an appointment with our friend Skylar, who now we've talked about 3 times. She started to become famous. I feel like we need to invite her on this podcast. Our manifestation journey famous, which means 10 people now know about her.
Right.
But anyway, so I purchased a 2-hour session with her where he could do Reiki and do some nutrition counseling, right? Because she does both of those things. She does a package. And I was having trouble with myself for spending so much money on something, right? Because it wasn't cheap. But I was also I went to the bank, I pulled out the cash.
Wow.
Right?
Yep.
And I'm doing those steps and knowing that these are just numbers. This is just paper.
Right.
I'm doing those things, but I'm also I'm actually really excited to give this cash to Skylar.
Yes.
I want to support her business, number one. I want to help the economy. I want to help the local economy.
Right.
I believe in what she's doing.
Right.
I know this is going to help him. There's all these things I'm saying to myself that are so wonderful.
That
right?
should totally override any, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was struggling with it yesterday, and that was
Yeah.
part of the reason I was so low.
Right.
Because I was just dude, man,
Yeah.
there's so many positives to this. What is your problem?
Yeah.
Support her and support him. And then he came home and he was he couldn't thank me enough for the experience.
Oh.
He was so happy.
Good.
And he's just how do I reimburse you? I'm this is a gift.
Right.
Yeah, you're not supposed to reimburse me for a gift. And he's no, I just I just feel bad, and I want to help. And I'm the whole point of the experience is that I just wanted you to enjoy the experience, but I also knew that I would benefit by challenging myself.
Yes, totally.
By paying for the experience.
Right.
So these are things that I'm trying to implement.
Right, you're putting yourselves in these positions on purpose.
Yes,
Yeah.
a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety. I gotta push my ego to be it's gonna be okay, and it's always okay.
Yeah.
And I'm reflecting over all these things in my life that I maybe spent too much money on something, and it always worked out. And I still eat, and I still live in a nice place, and I still have clothes on my body, and I can still feed my baby, and blah 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 blah. It's just money has always showed up.
Right.
And it's funny how it's always been there in this capsule or this limit that I've set for myself, right?
Yeah.
I always get back up to the same number.
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
Yeah.
Right? It's because I keep manifesting that same number. I'm I need to change that number to manifest more, to add more to my life.
Right.
Anyway, so I did all that crying last night. All the forgiveness crying. Again, surprisingly that it was about the little money things that added up.
Oh my God.
You need to do it.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
It was amazing.
I'm fascinated by the fact that
Forgiveness
it was all the
is-
little ones. The little ones, because that totally makes sense, because it's not something that you give a lot of thought about.
No.
All the other bigger traumas in your life, you've done a lot of thinking about.
Yeah.
And last night when last night when we were talking about you and forgiveness, having this dream of this person, and me, I don't, obviously when I give you advice, that's in air quotes, I don't know, I don't know if it's helpful or whatever, I just say things to maybe help or whatever. And do you feel like she is a symbol, this person that you dream
Now
of?
I do.
Okay.
Now I definitely do.
Okay.
It was you need to look backwards. When I see her now, it's not about her.
Okay.
It's just you need to you've forgotten something. Go back and get it.
Right. Okay.
The
So I wanted
universe saying,
to
go get
clarify that
something.
because I didn't want to
No.
validate. What's that word? discredit your
Right.
feelings towards her. Like,
Right.
if there was some more emotion that you had towards her, I didn't want to, like,
Well, and this
minimize that, you
This
know?
was the perfect test for that, though, because I
Yeah.
wrote down the stuff that she did, and I was like, this is sad, and, like, I'm sad about it. But I
it's
didn't
not-
cry,
Okay, yeah.
right? It was
Totally.
all the other things that I hadn't revisited that I was sobbing over.
Right.
Because I have revisited that multiple times.
Right, yeah.
In, like, counseling sessions and, like,
right.
you know, like,
So you think, okay, cool.
I think I've worked on that.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's when you see her in your dreams, it's
Yeah.
not her and that
No.
issue. It's just
I gotta go back.
past
Past
crap.
past crap that I need to deal with.
Right.
She's now my symbol for that,
Okay.
which I think's such a good thing to learn.
That is
Like,
crazy.
Yeah, because I thought
Cool.
it was something wrong with me that's like, am I seriously still hung up about this? Because this
About
happened
this,
like
yeah.
12 years ago, and I need to
Yeah.
get over it.
Okay.
So, anyway,
Cool.
yeah, so it went really well. It took way longer than I thought. Like, I thought I'd be in bed by like 10. I think I went to bed at like 11:30 because it was like, spent time with each memory,
Right.
cried it out, then said, I forgive you, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you,
Right.
to every single one.
Wow.
It was crazy. Anyway, so that was really good. And then there's like this reflection page where you like write your notes on like the experience and how you feel now and blah, 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 which was awesome. So then I have these cards, these tarot cards called Divine Guidance. And I love them. I pull 3 in the morning and 5 at night. And like there's like a way you can kind of lay them out to
Right.
like deliver a stronger message. So last night I pulled a card that I've never pulled before. I didn't even know it was in the deck.
That's awesome.
And I've been doing this for 2 months
right.
or longer. There's that snowmobile. Sorry, guys. There. So I pulled a card, and it said advancement. Have you pulled this card yet?
No, I don't know.
It's kind of freaked me out. Like I flipped it over and was like, I didn't even know you were in there.
Cool.
And like, how many cards have I've gotten the same card over and over again,
Yeah.
sometimes for days, and I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay, I'll work on this. I'll work on balance, or I'll work. Like this morning, I pulled out like romance or intimacy. So I'm like, I went to you and was like, I need to
Yeah.
have a date, and like, so Mason, I have a date tomorrow night. But yeah, advancement.
Cool.
And the message was so cool. Like I'm like, oh, what is happening? Let me just find it because I need to read it to you.
Forgiveness.
Advancement. Okay. Advancements. This is a time of change for you in the physical realm, and it may involve making some big decisions, whether it pertains to changing jobs, making a career choice, beginning or ending a
I
relationship,
think I have pulled this card.
or moving to a new home.
Whoa.
It says that in the book.
Wow.
Or moving to a new home. You have some choices you need to make. These changes are definitely for the better, both physically and spiritually. I kind of skipped over a bunch.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's pretty cool that I've never pulled this card before.
Yeah.
And here we are after doing all this work.
Right.
And yesterday on, you know how the retrograde, this whole Mercury retrograde thing,
Yeah.
if you're not familiar with it, just Google it because it'll give you more information. But basically the planet Mercury is like abnormally moving away from planet Earth, and it's causing a lot of crap.
Technology crap.
Technology, but I think other things, like other
Right.
blockages and other things that just aren't free flowing.
Right.
And so yesterday it said, like, it's over.
Right.
It ended yesterday, and they're like, and it was like an Instagram post or something talking about the retrograde, and just said, expect things to start to flow now with more ease into your life. Like, things are going to start moving finally. There's been a block, but things are going to move. So I was like, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? So then this morning, okay, we're going to skip to this morning. I was like feeling more optimistic than I had in a while. I felt lighter. I think that was from all the crying. I just felt like a release, you know? And so this morning on my commute to work, I saw my car twice. I saw it in silver, and then I saw it in white.
Of course.
So that's like the Uber sign, right? Like that's like the mega sign. So that made me feel good. And I was listening to one of Catherine's podcasts, and it was really good. It was about how you shouldn't something about like trying to stop all the negative in your life, and she's like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you can't stop bad memories from coming up. You can't like stop being so hard on yourself about that, because that's human.
Right.
You can't be like happy-go-lucky and optimistic and positive every day.
Right.
And you can't be hard on yourself when you're not like that.
Right.
Because there's so many people, and this is what I've been trying to do, so many people trying to get rid of all the negative in their life. They're trying to, it's about eliminating. That's what she said. That was the word. Eliminating. Stop trying to eliminate everything. Everything that's negative, in air quotes, out of your life. Like, stop doing that, because as a human, you can't, you physically can't do that. Like, it's going to pop up. Negativity is going to pop up.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful, because it was just like, yeah, she's like, there's a way to combat that, and it's not eliminating everything, it's just reframing ideas in your mind, reframing situations, reframing your perspective.
Yes.
And so, so yeah, I listened to that on the way in, and then get to work, and there's this project at work that, like, I really, really, really have been excited about. It's like a narrative kind of short film almost. And like the concept is really creative and really fun. And we're trying to get it done by the end of the month, which right now it doesn't give us a lot of time. Basically it gives us
a week.
6 days. Yeah. And up until this point it's been on hold, except I've had one location. I need 5 locations. I have 1 booked and then the lead actress booked, but that's it. And so I've been on hold because they haven't even picked the quote yet. Like, they haven't moved forward with it, but like they're so close. And then they asked us last week to tweak it. And so I was just like, I just need to talk to them on the phone, because I can explain more about the concept, the vision, and they're going to like buy it, you know? And so they had to pick between like a lower quote, a medium quote, and a higher quote within this concept, right? We're talking money here. So I was hoping they'd call first thing in the morning. They didn't call till like, I think it was like 10:30 or 11 o'clock. And I was like, oh, like, you're already wasting half my day.
Oh my God.
So then they finally call. I have this great conversation with them. Everybody in the office is listening to me having this conversation. So that even adds like a little bit more, like, everyone's like staring at me. Like, is this gonna happen? And it was one guy, and he was so nice on the phone. He's like, this concept, we love it so much. He's like, everyone in the office loves it so much. You actually, and it's funny, like, our company saying is exceed expectations. And I don't even know if he knows that, but he's like, you wildly exceeded our expectations.
Wow.
Like, we're so
cool.
excited about this concept. And he asked me my opinion, like what I thought between the quotes, like what would work. And I said, you know, I was honest with him. Like, I was like, you know, of course, you know, what you're paying for with a higher quote is more hours on a project. So that means we get to sink more of our time, love, energy into an idea.
Right.
If we have to rush through something, we can still give you a beautiful product. It's just not going to be as high quality as it could be.
Right.
So I'm like, it's totally up to you. Whatever your intuitive feelings are, like, I'm not here to push you or sell you. I'm just telling you my honest opinion and my experience with this job. And if we have more hours on a shoot,
right,
we have more hours in the editing room, if we're not rushing, then it's going to be better.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, cool, yeah, we're going to go with the first quote, and I think we're happy with the concept, and let's move forward. And I was like, oh my God. I was like trying to act all cool on the phone. But everybody around me like flipped around in their chairs and was just like, oh. It's like, I got really hot. I was just like, oh my God.
It's like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in a con job way, but just in a way where you like get something on the phone and you're like,
you're trying to be all professional, but you're just like, oh my God. And so I hang up with him, and everybody in the office is just like, oh my God. I'm like, I know. I'm like freaking out. My boss was upstairs, and I messaged him, and it was like, I think I just wrote quote 1, motherfucker. Because he knew I was on the phone. So he was like, oh my God. Like, he was like, he came running down the stairs, and he was just like so excited. And I was just like, I have so much to do. I have so much to do. I have to get this done.
Oh, it has to be done?
On Monday is when we're filming.
Okay.
I have I had a day and a half business days.
Right.
To get this done.
Right.
So I'm like frantically on the phone. I'm calling locations. Like, I'm just calling all day today. Like, it was just like, this is just nuts that I have to pull this off in a day and a half.
Wow.
Which means what? Like 8 hours? Less than 8 hours of office work to get this done.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to be as resourceful as possible, and I'm going after like the big locations. Like I've decided to not have any fear with this.
Good.
Because I was going for the small ones, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna go for the big ones. I'm gonna call Indigo and ask if we can film there.
Right.
I'm gonna call like a shoe store downtown, like a big shoe store. I'm just gonna, because before I was going to the little local businesses, and I'm like, no, this is the look that I want. I'm gonna just call them. So I got in touch with the people at Indigo today, and they're like, it wasn't a no, right? Like I was like, what's the worst they could say? They could say no.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, we just have to, I have to email like so and so and so and so, the powers that be, and then I'll contact you tomorrow. And I was like, great. I'm like, we want to film Monday. She's like, that's fine.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. So hopefully that goes through.
That's amazing.
And like, we have like all of these other locations kind of like, well, there's one that's lined up for sure, and then I've just reached out to a bunch of other locations. I've reached out to a bunch of actors. Like I'm just like, I was like on fire today, like trying to like get this together.
That's so cool.
But like feeling really good and being like, oh, like I want to use this momentum to like get people to feel my energy and like get on board, because I'm feeling so high right now, and all the support in the office. While this is happening, while this is my day, I get a message from Mace, and he sends me a link from my car that he found on Kijiji.
Oh, God.
In Toronto.
Okay.
And it's within my budget, and I think it will be either super close to what I pay right now or just a little bit more.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I know. I'm like, how is this happening? Like, I can't believe this is happening.
That's amazing.
I know.
Let's
and you should
go.
see it. You should see it.
Let's go get it.
It's in like beautiful condition. I'm like, what are we waiting for?
What are we waiting for?
I know.
What time is it?
I know. How crazy is that?
Can we go this weekend?
I'd love, I want to reach out to them because it was posted 2 days ago.
Okay.
So like, I'm like, of course it was posted 2 days ago, but I'm like,
let's go. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Oh my God. I know. We could get that car. We could have it like really soon.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
I know. So that's happening while I'm doing all of this
Oh my God,
today.
that's crazy.
So I'm like messaging him, and I'm like, I just did like an auto calculator online, and like I think it's gonna be like this much with this much financing and blah blah blah. And he was like doing the same, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening right now. Like as I'm like, I was just like,
oh my God.
I was thinking back to that Instagram post I saw last night that was like, things that have been blocking are finally going to be free. And I'm like, this is the manifestation day. Like, what is happening right now?
Wow.
I
That
know.
is so cool. Oh my God. Fuck. We have to go.
I know. I'm like, this is like, it has to be a sign, right? Like, right?
Like, oh my God.
I know.
Our last podcast, we were like, wouldn't it be so great if we could like
I know.
get into the car and do a podcast in the car or something? Oh my God, that's so cool.
I know. We'll have pictures of it. It would be like on our Insta story of things we've manifested.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because today I was looking at the manifest and I'm like, it's great, but it's like,
it's a diffuser.
Like, there's nothing. And since the diffuser, there has been nothing.
No, but it's okay. We're asking for big things.
That's right.
And
it's so like, I've been thinking about my car because you've been talking about yours for so long, right?
Yeah.
And my car isn't a winter car, and here we are going into winter, and I'm like, this isn't the time for me to manifest this car. I have to wait.
Yeah.
But it's so, like, annoying because
maybe you're supposed to get in my car and feel the feels, and then
you'll
feel like you're closer to your car.
I love the car that you want to manifest, so I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, and you'll probably be the one driving it for a couple weeks anyway.
No.
Yeah, because that's where all George's stuff's gonna go.
Yeah, but not anymore because Mason's coming home.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so you're gonna be driving
I'll get to drive it. Oh my God.
Oh God, I'm so happy for you. That is amazing.
I know.
Okay, let's just calm down and yes, that's awesome.
I know. Yeah. So, and then I kept seeing numbers all day too. I was seeing like 333, and tonight I got in the car. It said 444, and it was 4 degrees outside, so it was like 4 4s in a row. It's like, whoa, that's crazy.
That's really crazy.
So anyway, that was my.
Tell them about your
crazy day.
Forgiveness every day. If you guys know what song we are singing, we're not telling you.
Oh, we're not going to tell them?
No, they have to tell us.
They're not going to know.
What if somebody knows?
That would be really cool. If you could send us a message on Instagram or something being like, I know what that's from.
Right.
That would be great.
We'll leave it at that.
Although it's going to be like the title of this podcast and probably the title of the post and the title on the, like, we're not going to explain any of that. Like, I see the title of this podcast being Forgiveness is more than saying sorry. But they're not going to, like, I don't know. I guess we could just leave it at that.
Yeah, tell us what that's from.
Okay.
Okay. But you should tell them what you sent me this morning about the...
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Really?
That's another, like, huge part of my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I had a crazy day. So I think I've mentioned this before. I have a little ritual when I go into work, and I make myself a cup of tea, and then I meditate for like 10 minutes just to like get, set for the day and set my alignment for the day, and like hope that, with my sort of groundedness in meditation, that I'll attract good things for the day, for the business, and for myself. And so this morning when I was meditating, I saw like a purple orb, like a purple circle, basically. Well, I had my eyes closed, but I saw a purple circle in front of my face. And so when I need to pull up what I sent you. So when I Googled it afterwards, and it said, I sent it to you, right? I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. So Purple Orb Messages. It says, a purple orb often delivers the spiritual message that it is time for you to forgive. This could be an individual, group, or yourself that needs forgiveness. Said that among a bunch of other things, but that was the first one. I was like, okay.
That's all I read. After I read that first sentence, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that
you knew that I was working on forgiveness last night.
I love this because I just like learning so much. Like, I don't feel this way.
Right.
I don't feel this way about forgiveness.
Right.
Which is somewhat weird considering my past. I think it's kind of weird because I had a very traumatic thing happen to me.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like hung up about forgiveness.
Right.
I do feel like with this particular person, I do feel like I need to learn how to navigate this, but I don't feel like worked up about it or stuck with it,
Right.
So it's just really interesting for me to hear like how closely related this is to opening it up. It makes me also wonder, I'm like, hey, well, what are my blocks, right?
Yeah.
Like, what
these memories that you don't even know that you have.
And maybe I do have something
blockages
with forgiveness, but for you it was just so clear, and you're just like, no, I need to work on this.
I was really drawn to it.
Yeah.
Like I was really like, there's something in my past that I have to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my day.
Yeah, let's hear about your day.
How are we doing with time? We good?
Oh yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my day. So I try to have a routine, but it's hard when you're waiting for a baby to wake up because whatever you're doing just drops and changes or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I usually try to do something related to this kind of work. Mm-hmm. So whether it's like reading the book, like I think that's what I was doing this morning. I was reading the book, and it was about knowledge. It was about how people who become successful learn. Like their behavior and their actions are about learning or finding people to help them with something, like finding an expert in whatever that they want to learn about and having that expert do a task for them that they're not interested in doing. Like it's just about finding the right people, knowledge focused. Mm-hmm. It wasn't pushing college or university. It was just saying that the most successful people really are interested in personal growth and knowledge.
Right.
So I was like, okay.
Well, you can do that on your own if you don't want to. Like you can. All college university is like focus of discussion and syllabuses, but you could create your own syllabus.
Oh my gosh.
Your own focus groups and
So
like
true.
There's no
like
you don't get limited knowledge. Like
no.
they get books from the outside world and bring them into the classroom.
Right.
It's just you don't have to do the curation. That's all
right.
it is. If you have the energy to do the curation, you don't need a college degree.
Right. And there's like we could talk about education on a whole other podcast, but totally understand that now. I understand, because I've always felt until recently that learning was an arduous task, and it was horrible, and it was forced, and it
wasn't inspired. It was
unkind, and actually rude. Like, now that I think about it,
beated down on you, almost like a punishment.
Do this homework or else. Like, it's just like, it was such a terrible experience. Yeah. That's my experience. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm totally coming out with a new way of thinking about learning. And it's, if you truly enjoy a hobby or a task or whatever, if you truly enjoy it, you naturally want to learn more about it. Right. Like, there's this, that we have such a hang up over college and university, making sure that you're knowledgeable,
educated,
to get to where you want to go.
Right.
It's the cart before the horse situation. It's like, if you find something that you enjoy, people will look at your behavior and be like, gosh, you work really hard on that. And then you will say, oh, am I working hard?
Right.
I was just having fun.
Right. Right.
Me spending hours in my room researching or whatever, right? Reading 5 design books. Right. That's not work.
That sounds like work to me.
Right? Exactly. I'm like, if you sat me down in front of your editing chair, I'd be like,
here, watch this clip 15 times in a row.
Yeah, I'd be like, can I go shoot myself?
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, it's just, we totally have to have a podcast on this topic, because so knowledge, right? I was like, okay, knowledge. So obviously your phone listens to you. So I've been getting these like master classes popping up on my feed. So all on entrepreneurs. So like the girl who invented Spanx. Okay. She has a master class. Okay. And she teaches how you have an idea, how you market it, how you put it out there, how you become successful with your idea. Right. And then another person popped up. It was Greta Van Riel, I think is her name. She's like in her late 20s, maybe 30 now, and she runs 5 multi-million-dollar companies. Ooh. She started with Skinny Me Tea. Okay. And she's just done all these other businesses. She sells watches.
She's a busy lady.
It's like crazy, right? So she's offering a class. Right. And it's about putting your physical product out there. Okay. Yeah. So I clicked on this thing. I'm watching this video, and I'm halfway through. Halfway through is an hour in. Wow. I'm like, how did an hour go by? I clicked on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's another hour of this. Like, I was waiting for it to end because I'm like looking after George and stuff. So I'm like, okay, like whatever. I'm like, I just want to keep listening because I'm curious, but I didn't realize I just bought into 2 hours of this stuff. Okay. So I'm like, okay, so I'm into this. So I'm, listening, and is talking about how you want to make sure you have an audience before.
Sam's hair's touching your mic.
You want to make sure you have an audience to sell to before you sell to them. Right. Yeah. And that's when it dawned on me. My product isn't physical. No. So I have to catch the listeners up to speed. One thing we haven't discussed is I have a little
side hustle.
Yeah. I would like to create a website for vacation home renters, and it's a place where hosts can exchange with other hosts for free stays. Right. So it's super cool, and I have a group on Instagram, and so I want to turn this into a thing. I want to start making money at it. Yeah. So it dawned on me that I don't have a physical product. No. My product,
an experience.
But my product is my members. Right. So the more members I have, the more attractive I am. Right. So that's
the key.
That's the key. So I have to get started. Right. Because I can't grow an audience
Without the members.
Yeah. Right? Like,
Yeah.
they have to be
signed up.
They have to be signed up to be more attractive. So, like, I realized that I have to start basically building my product, right? But by building it, that means launching it, because I have to attract the people to join it.
That's right.
Right? It's a bit strange,
yeah.
right? So, a couple of days ago, I discovered, like, I was on Wix and creating my own website and getting photos from some of the members, and I was really, like, excited about it, and I was like, this is working. I found a Wix expert, like, virtual assistant, to help me with working more on the website. Before this, though, I contacted a website creator company, and they gave me a quote for $17,000 to start this website. So obviously I don't have that money, and I would love to go all in and just, like, make it happen, just knock it out of the park first try. The more I'm learning and the more I'm realizing that's probably not the best way. Like, I've heard from the masterclass with the Spanx girl and Greta, start small and work your way up and grow into it and learn as you go. So I was like, okay, I need to do that approach. So message the website people, I need to start small, I need to scale back, we can't go all in. Like, I know we want to go all in because that would be amazing, but it doesn't make sense. So they're like, okay. So then they gave me a new quote, $7,000. So I was like, okay, better. And they offer more services than that. They help you grow your business. They're a constant line of communication. They keep your website going all the time. Like, they're there to help you. You're paying for a service
that's consistent.
That's business focused. Like, are you a new business? Great. We're here to help you. Right?
Yeah.
So, not just a website builder. We want to help you grow. So, I'm like, hey, 7,000, still too much. Like, I don't have, I can't do that. But, so, okay, that's in the back of my mind. So then I've got this whole Wix, I'm creating a website with Wix, and I've got this virtual assistant. She quotes me $800. So I'm like, well, that's totally doable. I can do that. $800, and she's going to build the things that I need, and I can tweak, and I can create it myself, and this is awesome. This is so cool. So I was like, oh God, I have to have this conversation with this other website that I can't do it. I can't do it with them. I found a virtual assistant. I'm going to create my website on my own. So I'm sitting in my room, so nervous to call this person, right?
Because you've already spent so much time with her on the phone.
Talking about the concept.
And she's like, excited about it.
And she's so cool and herself
and nice and lovely.
And I would love to work with her. Like, I can tell she wants me to succeed. Like, she's like, this is an awesome idea. And I didn't get that vibe from the girl I talked to on Wix, like the virtual assistant. She was just like, okay, yeah, I can do that for you. But like, this girl is just like, this is amazing. So I'm like, okay, I gotta call her. I gotta tell her, like, I'm sad because I don't want to end our relationship, but I have to. Right? Because I just found $800, this quote. So I call her, no answer. So then, and I had to, like, psych myself up too for the call. Like, I was like,
it's like a breakup.
Well, yeah. And I was like, hey, I've been calling myself Lady Samantha as like boss babe.
Your
My alter ego is Lady Samantha. So I'm like, what would Lady Samantha do? And I just gave myself this, like, wild rampage pep talk out loud on my head. You did. I was just like, this is your first move as owner of your website, owner of your business. This is necessary. It's okay. Like, like, this
Lady Samantha doesn't think twice about making big ass decisions like this.
And this isn't even a big ass decision. You're just telling somebody, no, thank you, we've considered your offer, but we're going to go another way. Right? That's not a big deal. That's like an easy thing to do. Like, this isn't nerve-wracking. In fact, it's not scary. It's incredibly exciting because you have found a way. See, look at me rampaging. That's what I did on my bed. I was just like, and then I just stopped, and it just, like, kind of, like, sat with myself. I'm like, okay. Called, no answer. I'm like, well. So then I texted her. And I was kind of gave her, like, thank you very much for all your time, and I really appreciate your support, blah, blah, blah. She calls me, and she's like, hey, tell me what like, I got your text message. Tell me
what's going on.
Tell me what's going on. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I found this website, blah, blah, blah. Explained it, $800 quote. She's like, okay, let me get back to you. I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, what is she going to do?
Yeah. What could she possibly do?
Right?
Yeah.
And so she's like, she calls me back in like 10 minutes. And she's like, okay, I talked to the people. And she's like, this is what we can do. So we can do everything that this person is offering for you to do, like all of the functionality and everything. We can design it how you want it because you're going to be in on it. Like, you're going to have a direct link to it being created. So you can tweak things as we go.
Right.
It's going to be using Wix. So, like, they're going to be using those things. She's like, we're not going to be using, like, we were going to do coding for you.
Right.
So now we're not going to do that. We're going to use existing apps, existing codes to, like, make this happen for you.
Right.
We're going to start, like you said, from the bottom and work our way up and grow together. And we're going to grow together. And she's like, and she's saying all these things. She's like, and you're going to be able to talk to me, like, whenever you want.
Sounds like you guys have, like, you've turned into, like, besties.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, I can't lose you.
No, she's like, we got, she's like, I believe in this idea so much, we got to make it happen. So, we're just kind of laughing back and forth on the phone, and she's like, okay, $1,200. I'm like, I got you from $17,000 to $1,200. And what's funny about it is $800, right, for this tech. Yeah. I also would have had to pay for an upgrade.
Right.
An annual upgrade, which was like $300, I think.
Right.
That's like $1,100.
Right.
Plus all the tax.
Right.
Plus, I wouldn't. Just because she does all that functional, like the VA, just because she does all that functional stuff.
That's where it ends.
That's where it ends.
Yeah.
She can't help me with, like,
the growth
of it, or like the creative part of it, or the responsiveness for tablets and phones. And so when I went onto my Wix site now, the one that I've been creating, I looked at it on my phone and it's all jumbled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would have had to ask her to, like, right? Like, I've just, like, I need somebody to be on my side.
So is this like a one-time payment?
So she's like, so what do you want to do? Do you want to do 50% now and 50% at the end? I'm like, yeah, why not make it easier for myself?
Oh my God.
So I'm going to do $600.
At the end, what is the end?
I'm going to pay $600.
What does the end mean?
After the job's done.
So then how they maintain it, and you must pay like a monthly fee after that, right?
Yeah, and they're like, if you don't want us to maintain it, then you pay Wix a monthly fee.
Okay.
So.
Whoa.
Right? I'm like, this is how much my product costs right now. My product costs $1,200 to start up. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And a 50% down. So all I have to do is come up with $600 instead of $800, which I was willing to pay today.
Oh my God.
$600 to start it and, like, to, like, get her going. Like, retrograde lifted.
Thank you for going away. Wow, that is insane.
And she's like, you're going to get everything that you want, but more.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be here for you.
Well, it's going to be better quality. It's just, like, there's a team of people.
And, like, she's like, I want you to do, I mean, she's like, whatever, but the video, right? And she's like, I know your sister can do the video for you, but, like, we can make a video, we can make a video for you if you want. Like, we could do voiceover with drone shots, and, like, we can, she just wants, like,
she really wants you to do well.
She wants me to do well. So she didn't want me to leave.
Yeah.
She was like, no. Yeah. Even if I make less money, just stay.
Yeah. Well, she knows in the long run the potential of the business. Like,
I agree.
She believes she's investing in you.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's more like, this is going to get big, so we might as well start slow and then
make the money together.
We're just going to keep going.
She's going to get you to a point where she's going to ask for money and you're just going to be able to give it to her. Right. Like, here you go. You'll have developed that trust in that relationship, and it'll be so worth it. Yeah. You started from the bottom together. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, my Lord.
I know. I have to sign this contract still. Like, I'm just like, I haven't had any time today to do the things I need to do. But yeah. So that was my retrograde lift.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an epic day.
Right?
For manifesting.
Right?
Holy, I don't know.
I'm so excited about your car.
I know. And your website. Like, I'm like, we're going to be having some serious conversations this time next year. It's going to be bananas.
Oh my God.
It's going to be bananas.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so excited, guys. I can't wait to take pictures in your car.
I know. The first Insta story from the car.
Yes!
I know.
Like, we need to play all the songs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that. We should listen to our, like, money playlist driving home.
We have a money playlist. Maybe we should
Yes.
share that with the peeps.
Okay, we'll do that on our Instagram.
How do we... okay.
I'll do that.
You'll do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have a manifesting money
Yeah.
playlist.
Yeah. Money.
We'll
How long has this podcast been?
It's an hour.
Oh, okay.
Well, just under an hour.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I know. It's normal.
I was starting to feel like
I know.
we were taking up a lot of time, but maybe it was just a lot of information.
Yeah, today was an epic day.
Right.
Oh my God, forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. Well, thank you guys for being a part of that little experiment. We did not
I feel
know.
like we just bounced around like
Oh, we did all
pong.
over the place.
ping pong.
Yeah,
if you can
normally-
follow that, that's impressive.
Yeah, true. Because normally we're like, okay, what are we gonna talk about? Okay, we've got this thread through it. Okay, cool. Today we were like, we just looked at each other. We're like, we have to record a podcast. Like, this needs to happen like right now, because the energy off of both of us was just like, I had a crazy day. You had a crazy day. Okay, let's tell each other over a podcast.
Yeah.
So here we are. You were brought along for that crazy ride.
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned. We're excited. Like, find out if Micki gets her dream car, and find out how the commercial goes next week, and find out
How the website
about
is going.
Sam's website and how
Yeah.
many members she gets. Because right now you have how many members?
I have 45 members.
45.
Right now. Yeah.
So we're starting with 45.
Which is good.
Which is amazing. But you've
Yes.
worked at that for like a year or so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
As
it's
a hobby.
It's gonna skyrocket. Yeah. So yeah. Oh my goodness. Stay tuned, guys. It's gonna be fun. We got some momentum today.
Yeah.
It's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. If you did keep listening through this entire
I'm
podcast.
sure they did. We were exciting.
Yeah, were we?
Yeah.
You're so confident at the end of these things. I'm always like, I don't know. And you're like, of course they think we're cute. Okay, so, all right. So we will sign off now. And thank you very much. And we wish you a life of joy and abundance, as always.
Yes, we do.
And we will hear you next time. How does that work? We won't see or hear them. They will hear us next time.
Yes.
We will be here the next time you want to listen to us. That sounds so weird. Okay. Have a great day.
Yes.
Have a day full of realized manifestations.
Yes.
Right?
Sorry, I got excited about that. But how awesome would that be? Manifest something today.
Yeah. And expect magic
And tell
to
us
happen.
about it.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah.
And review us if you are so inclined. We would love a review. We would love a message.
Yeah.
Wherever you listen to podcasts. We have it on Podbean and Apple Podcasts. But yeah, please do so. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Okay, bye.